Someone. There we are. So welcome to class. So we're going to focusing on our shoulders, and all of the moves that we're going to do this morning really help with our posture. So it's a set of moves that I found from somebody that I follow online, and they're really quite good. So I hope you'll agree with that. So I've muted everybody. So just come down to your mats into a comfortable seat. There we are. We'll just sit for a moment, I should say. With your legs crossed or your legs out in front of you, whatever feels comfortable. Perching on a block if you've got one. And just relax your shoulders. Let your hands just rest on your knees. So sitting up straight and tall, find that length in your spine. I'm just going to take a few deep breaths here. Just charging up our body before we start the asanas. So you can soften your gaze or close your eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in, one long deep breath all the way to the bottom of your ribs, filling the whole of your lungs. And as you breathe out, you're going to breathe out in thirds. So a third, and the last third. So breathing in, one long deep breath. As much as you can get in, and then breathing it out in thirds. Keep that going for a few more rounds. This is a very energizing breath. You can almost feel it charging up your body as you take that deep breath in, filling your lungs to the biggest capacity that you can get. So really sending the breath into the bottom, the thoracic area, to the top of the lungs, and then letting it out in 3. So because it's not one big release, it's almost as if you're holding on to a little bit of that breath, that bit of power, that energy. They call this Rajas breath. Rajas yoga is yoga of the king. So this is breath that keeps building the energy in our body. And each time you do it, you might feel as though your spine is lengthening, just lifting your head up towards the ceiling as you build that energy. Just be careful that you're not sending tension into your shoulders. So you still want to find some release in the shoulders, particularly today, because we're going to work on our shoulders. So just do one more, in, out in 3. And then just keeping your eyes closed for a moment. Just noticing how you feel. All charged up, all ready to go. But somehow, with a little bit of relaxation as well, that softness in your shoulders, in your hips, in your knees, your hands and your ankles, just releasing any tension. And then slowly bring yourself around on the mat into a child's position. So take your knees wide, toes together, and slide the hands out in front of you, releasing the head. to the mat. Just allowing the body to let go, releasing down into the mat with each exhalation. And then gently turn your head to the right and turn it to the left. Just do that once more, just a slow, gentle turn, starting to ease into the neck. And then once more to the left. And then bringing yourself up into an all fours position. So let's get our hands under our shoulders, knees under hips, toes into the mat. We're going to do 3 cat-cows here. So spread your fingers wide so that you've got really good foundation in your hands. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just dropping the crown of the head, pressing into the mat and opening through the spine. Breathe in. Breathe out, leading with the chin and the chest, tilting the pelvis. Coming into cow pose, Pidalasana. Breathe in. Breathe out, arching up into cat. Marichasana. Breathe in. Breathe out, cow pose. One more set, breathe in. Breathe out, cat pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, cow pose. Okay, so we're going to do an interesting little twist here. So from our all fours position, keeping your toes into the mat, just sink your hips back about halfway. So we're not sitting down, we're not resting down onto the backs of the thighs or the hips. We're sort of holding in this position halfway. So you can feel that your thighs are engaging here. And then from this position, take your right hand behind your right ear, breathing in, opening that elbow up to the side. So it's just a little twist. You could feel the twist happening further up the back. And as you breathe out, slide the right hand through and under the left hand. Now the palm is facing down. So you're just reaching it across. It won't go very far, but you can feel how you're opening the shoulders. So breathe in, bring the hand back behind the ear, open up, and breathe out and slide it through. So if you want to add a little bit more onto this, your left hand, instead of it being in front in the position where it was under your left shoulder, move it slightly to the left and reach it forward at the same time. So now you can leave that there and take your right hand back to the ear and then reaching it through. So it gives you a different feeling into the shoulders. It's really opening the backs of the shoulders. And then breathing in, come back to all fours. So just have a rest of the thighs for a moment because it's quite strong on the thighs as you reach halfway back. And we're going to do the other side. So toes into the mat. Sit back halfway, just holding that position. Breathing in as your left hand comes behind the ear. Send the elbow up to the ceiling. Feeling that twist in the upper back. And as you breathe out, slide the hand out to the side. So the palm is down. And if you want to add on a bit more, this right hand reaches a bit more out to the side. It's probably come off your mat. And then bringing the left hand back to the left ear as you open. Breathing out, reaching. Really gets into the shoulders. Let's do one more and I just have a quick look at you. That's it. Just sliding the hand through and reaching. Well done. I hope you can feel how different that stretch is as we start to work our shoulders. So come back into our upright position, back into all fours. And we're going to take our knees back a little bit, slide our feet a bit wider. So we're just going to take a few movements between child's and up dog. So with your toes resting down into the mat, sink back into child's, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, sliding forward, keeping the knees wide, toes into the mat, just lifting the chest. And it's your choice as to whether your knees come up as well. So it's a little bit like an up dog, but it's a wide leg up dog. Breathing in, come back to child's. Breathing out, up dog. Or maybe the other way around. Do what feels good for you, but just keep the breath going. So you're hinging through the shoulders and into the hips as we do this. Moving forward and back. So we should be feeling nicely warmed up now. When we do these moves, we get the synovial fluid moving between all the joints. So everything feels a little bit better. But just one more, back into child's and up dog, or modified up dog, I should say. And then come back to an all fours position. So this is the set of moves that I picked up from this person that I follow online. His name's Tim Sinessi, and he gives me some really good tips. I did a mobility exercise with him, with you before, with morning mobility, and this one is mobility specifically for the shoulders. So we're going to start back in this all fours position, toes into the mat, sitting back into that halfway position that we're now used to. And we're going to do 3 rounds of these sets of moves. So he always suggests that when you start off, you do it 4 out of 10. So you think, right, I'm not going to jam myself into this, because when we do the second set, you're going to feel better. And the third set, you're going to feel even better. So you might be getting it to 7 or 8 out of 10. So don't push yourself too much. So let's just get it flowing, first of all. So sitting back into this position. So the first set of moves is cat-cow in this position. So breathing in as you tuck the head towards the chest, round the spine. Breathe out, breathing in and breathing out into like a modified cow. So you're keeping your hips back. Breathe in, breathe out and move. Breathe in, breathe out. Cow pose. Like a cow pose as you sit in the hips back, breathing in, breathing out. So as we go through these, just notice how most of the movement is happening in the upper back. We're changing the position. And then coming back to the neutral position, but keeping your hips halfway back. Doing something called row and reach. So take your hand to behind your ear, breathing in, and as you breathe out, open it to the side. Don't be surprised if it feels quite stiff. Breathe in, take your hand back into this row as you send the elbow towards the other arm, and then breathe out, reach up. Breathing in, elbows bent, breathing out, reaching. Once more. And reach. Remember, we're still sitting halfway back. Hand comes back to the mat, try the other side. Left hand comes up, breathing in and breathing out as you reach the hand to the side. So breathing in, drawing the elbow towards the opposite elbow, breathing out, reaching. So if you keep your gaze to the mat, keeps a little bit of length in the neck. So once more on this side, reaching up, should feel a little bit better for the first time we did it. Then we come back to our neutral position and then come up to a high kneel. So we are going to spend quite a bit of time on our knees if you need extra padding. So take your hands out to the side. I'll turn to face you. Thumbs are pointing up. So turn those thumbs so they can go back as far as you can, and then turning them all the way around. So nothing else is moving other than your rotator cuffs in your shoulders. You're really getting into the shoulders. And your bottom ribs are staying down, pointing towards your hips. So when you open up, it's tempting to go like this. So you want to keep that upright and just turning around. Shoulder blades are keeping in that same position. You can just feel the rotator cuffs going. It's really good for our posture, this one. So we do 3 of these, and then we breathe in and we draw our hands to the front. We make fists with our hands. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, send the fists away. So you're opening your shoulders, breathing in, sliding the shoulder blades back. So it's this subtle movement, forward and back. Forward and back. And then we want up and down. So keeping the hands out in front, up and down, up and down. And then take your hands to the backs of your hands to your back pockets. Take a breath in and draw the elbows towards the front of the body, and then breathing out, drawing them towards the back, keeping that nice straight spine, ribs tucked down. And then release these hands back behind you. So the thumbs are towards each other and you're reaching them back as much as you can. Breathing in, turning the palms so that they come towards, it's as if they were coming up to the ceiling, reaching them out to the side. So out like this, palms facing upwards, breathe in, breathe out, turning them back around, taking them back to your back pocket. Elbows forward, elbows back. So we've got 2 more of those. So elbows forward, elbows back. Send the hands back as far as they'll go, turning them around, bringing them up, palms are upwards, and then take it, turn them back and down, back to the back pocket, elbows forward, elbows back. Once more, elbows forward, elbows back, pushing the hands away, turning them out to the side, turning them once more as they come back to the back pocket. Elbows forward, elbows back. Then there's 1 more set of moves. So take your hands behind your head, again watching for that lower rib cage. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring the elbows together. Breathe in, take your hands to a cactus position. Breathe out, take them to a Y position. Breathe in, come to cactus. Breathe out, release. Twice more, breathe in, hands behind the head. Breathe out, elbows together. Breathe in, cactus. Breathe out, Y. Breathe in, cactus. Breathe out, release. Now this time as you're doing it, hands behind the head, opening. Imagine you stood against the wall. Breathing in, elbows together. Breathing out, cactus. Sorry, breathing out, open. Breathing in, cactus. So imagine I'm stood against the wall and I'm sliding my hands up the wall as I come to Y, and then back to cactus, and then release. So it's a good one to do against the wall because it's difficult because your chest will come out like this and you've really got to try and bring your back against the wall. So that is one full set. We're going to do that twice. So come back to the mat. We're going to try some more, I should say. Back to the mat. Sit back into that halfway. Cat-cows. Breathe in. Round the spine as you breathe out. Breathe in. Tuck in the hips forward as you breathe out. Cat-cow pose. So 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And moving on the exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Staying in this half sitting back position. Get your back into neutral. Row and reach. So hand behind the head. Breathing in, opening up the hand. Is it feeling much better already? Taking the elbow to the opposite arm. Breathing in. Reaching. Breathing out. Breathing in, tuck in, and then reaching. So 3, row and reach. Hand back to the mat. Left side, hand behind the ear. Breathe in, breathe out, open out, extend the hand. Breathing in, bring the hand back behind the head, elbow tucks in. Just keep that movement going. 3 of these. Remembering that we were doing 4 out of 10 at the beginning, maybe it's flowing a little bit better. Hands back to the mat, come up to a high kneel. Hands come out to the side, elbows, thumbs pointing up, really rotating the shoulder cups. 3 movements here, keeping the rib cage down. Really getting into the shoulders. Breathing the hands back together, making fists, taking the hands away, bringing them back. So really shifting through the shoulder blades, forward and back, and then up and down, up and down. Up and down. Release your hands to your back pockets. Bring the elbows forward, send them back. Release the hands back behind you as far back as you can. Really squeeze in the shoulder blades. Taking the hands out wide, lifting the palms up to the ceiling, turning them around, bringing them back to the back pocket. Elbows forward. Elbows back. So do it again, forward, back. Reach the hands back. Turn them over, out to the side, turning them over, back pocket, forward, back. Forward, back. 1 more set. Forward, back. Release the hands. Turn them over, out to the side. Turning them back, back pocket, forward and back, forward and back. And then the last set, hands behind the head, elbows draw in, elbows open, cactus, Y, cactus, back to and release to alongside. Elbows behind the head, closing them. Cactus, Y, cactus, release. Once more, elbows behind the head, squeezing them in. Out into cactus, Y, and then back to cactus, release. Just have a little shrug, just feeling how good your shoulders and your chest feels. And we're going to go through it all once more, bit more speed. So back onto the all fours, sit back halfway, cat cow, rounding through the spine, sending it forward. Just keep your breath going. 3 cat cows. I don't know about you, but my back is moving much more freely. Then the row and reach, so hand behind the head, open it out, reach the hand. Whoa, look how much further it goes. Hand back to the head, draw the elbow in, send it out, reach, bring it back, send it out and reach. Hands back to the mat, other side. So elbow out to the side, send the hand out to the side, elbow draws back in. 3 of these. Drawing it in. And then coming up to a high kneel, hands out to the side, thumbs up, send them all the way back, turn them all the way around. Much more freedom in the rotator cuffs. 3 turns, and then bring the hands together, making fists, shifting those hands away, drawing them back in. Shifting them away, drawing them back in. Away, back in. And then release, up and down, maybe forgot that. Up to the ears, up and down 3 times. And then release the hands to behind the back pocket, elbows forward, elbows back, elbows forward, elbows back. Release the hands behind you as far as they'll go. Turn them around, out to the side, palms are facing up. Turn them once more, back to behind the back pocket, forward and back. Forward and back. Release them behind, turn them around, out to the side, palms facing up, turning around, back down behind the back pocket, forward and back, forward and back. Release them behind, turn them around, hands to the side, and then release to the back pocket, forward and back, forward and back. Hands behind the head, take a breath in, breathing out, elbows together. Breathing in, cactus, breathing out, Y. Breathing in, cactus, breathe out, release. Hands behind the head, breathing in, breathing out, draw them together. Breathing in, cactus, breathing out, Y. Breathing in, cactus, breathing out, release. Last time, hands behind the head, draw them in. Breathing in, cactus, breathing out, Y. Breathing in, cactus, breathing out and release. Another really good shrug of the shoulders and the neck. And just notice, how does it feel? What a good set of moves. I hope you'll agree with me at the end. It just really frees up your shoulders, all of this shoulder girdle and the tension in your neck. So let's have a well-earned rest. So come down to the mat, knees wide, toes together, slide the hands forward. Child's pose. Just take a few breaths here. And notice if you feel a bit freer in the upper body. The hands are just sliding out along the mat. You're resting your head down. Just enjoying that freedom in the body. Just goes to show, doesn't it? If you don't move it, it'll stop moving. So when we keep doing repetitive exercises like that, we get so much out of it. I might do a little video, just that session on its own, and I'll let you all have it so you can go back and do it again anytime. So come back up to all fours. Let's give our knees a little bit of a rest. Take your toes into the mat. Breathing out, up to downward facing dog. Have a little walk through the feet. Just easing out. Getting some movement in the lower body. And then allow the heels to come towards the mat. In your down dog, sending your ears through your arms, your lower ribs towards your thighs. And just breathe. And then breathing into the sole of your left foot as you float your right leg up, three-legged dog. And as you breathe out, bending your right knee, dropping your right heel to your left hip as you gaze under your right arm. Just opening that right hip. Breathing in as you bring the knee and the hip back to center. And as you breathe out, you're going to draw this knee all the way up to the chest and allow it to step to the front of the mat. So we're in a lunge position. Just settle into that lunge. So take a breath here. Gazes to the mat. And then as you breathe out, drop your back heel into the mat. Engage the right hip, the right thigh as you sweep your hands forward. Warrior one. Standing straight and tall. Noticing whether your arms feel a little bit more flexible here. The joints are moving a bit more freely. Breathe out. Release your hands all the way back to the mat. Straightening that back leg. You're back in the lunge. Take a breath in. Release the right leg. Come back to all fours. You're going to do the same on the other side. So just take a breath here. Toes into the mat. As you breathe out, lift your knees and your hips, downward facing dog. Just find that down dog, dropping your head through your arms, taking your ribs towards your upper thighs. Breathe in here. And then breathing into the sole of your right foot as you release your left leg, three-legged dog. Breathing in, bending the left knee, opening the hip as you drop the left heel to the right hip and gaze under the left arm. Breathing in, straightening up, releasing that knee up towards your chest. And as you breathe out, step it forward and through. Finding that lunge. So just have your fingertips into the mat, nice straight spine. Taking a breath here. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, drop your right heel into the mat, engage the left hip as you sweep your hands up. Warrior one. Gazing forward, reaching those arms up alongside your ears. Take a breath. And then release the hands all the way back to the mat, back into that lunge. And then take a breath in as you release your left knee back towards down dog and release the knees to the mat. Take the knees wide, sink back, child's pose. Just have a release here. Rest the forehead on the mat. And reach those hands forward. Feeling how good the shoulders are feeling here as you extend your arms. And then breathing in, come back up to all fours. So realign your knees, toes into the mat. As you breathe out, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. And then you can walk or jump your feet forward to the top of the mat. Keeping your forward fold. Find some softness in the knees. Take the hands out wide like an aeroplane and come up with a strong, straight spine. Reach the hands up and overhead. Take your gaze to your palms. As you breathe out, hands to the heart center. Well done. Just stand here, straight and tall. Find some softness in the knees. Relax the shoulders. We're all warmed up now, ready to be dancers. So let's release our hands and our shoulders. Take hold of your strap or your tie, whatever you've got. So go so that you're near a wall. I'm going to go to my mirror that's here. So basically, when we try and do dancer, you know, it's the whole balance thing. You have to lift your foot up to put your strap on, and then you're getting yourself ready in this position. As you drop the knee down, the left arm comes up. You make chin mudra with the hands, so the thumb and the first finger comes together, and then you've got to do this balance. And it's hard because you'll see, I mean, I did it a bit quickly then, and you fall over. So let's change it. Let's stand in front of the wall. Let's take our hand to the wall. So this will gauge how close you can be. So place the flat of your hand on the wall and then stand up straight. So you can go a little bit closer. So yeah, a little bit closer. So I'm standing straight here. Now I release my right knee. My strap is already around the foot. And now I encourage it behind me. I bring it up behind and I can lean into that hand. And if you're feeling good, oops, I'm losing my strap, you can shorten that strap, bringing it up even higher. So it's a much nicer way of getting into the stretch. That's it. I'm just going to have a look at you all. Brilliant. So isn't it easier? Much better to rely on the wall rather than what we do all the time when we're trying to balance. So once you've had a good stretch on that side, just return, take your foot down and try the other side. So just standing in front of the wall, this time your left hand is going to be on the wall, and your left leg. No, that's not right, is it? The right hand. And then we're going to reach up, stretching into dancer. Just we'll have one more minute on this side, just to make sure we balanced out. So when you're doing this with the wall, it gives you more of an opportunity to push into that hand against the wall and bring your chest upright. Because the full dancer pose is keeping the chest upright and the leg comes up behind. And if you see, you know, the really good people doing it, their hand goes to their foot, which I don't think is ever going to happen for me, ever in my lifetime. But we're giving it a go. Well done. So come back and away from the wall. Give yourselves a pat on the back for trying. And then come back to the mat. So we're standing towards the top of the mat. Stand up straight and tall, feet are hip distance apart. Just step back with the right foot. So it needs to come back about 2 foot, about 24 inches, 2 foot in distance. And the feet are pointing forward. So we're not taking the back foot out to the side. Standing up straight and tall. Take a breath in and take your hands behind you and bring them into reverse prayer. So if that doesn't work for you, bring your knuckles together. So it's just knuckles or reverse prayer. Stand up straight and tall. Our shoulders should be feeling really quite open now. So reverse prayer should be coming to us. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just lean over that front leg. So come to a flat back. Just take a breath here. Just allowing that left hamstring to stretch. And then the next time you exhale, maybe you can send your nose towards your knee. Breathe in here. And then bringing yourself back up, releasing the hands. Step in the right foot, back to the top of the mat. Take a breath. And then step back with the left foot. So about 2 foot distance, feet are tracking each other. So they're like tram lines, railway lines. Taking your hands behind you into reverse prayer, sliding them up your back. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, just hinging forward at the hips until you find that flat back. Your gaze is to the mat. You're finding the length through your head and your neck. Just take a moment here before you go any further. Maybe you don't want to go any further. Maybe this is it. Your other option here, you can take your hands to the mat in front of you or to a block as you release. But if you keep the hands behind you, then as well as getting this lovely hamstring stretch, you're continuing to work into the chest and the shoulders. All good moves for our posture. And then pushing into the mat as you bring yourself back up. Well done. Release your hands. Step the foot forward. So we're just going to step really wide on the mat now. So really wide feet, as wide as you like to go. We're going to do a forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So have your toes pointing out to 45-degree angles. So the toes are going to the corners of the mat. Stand up straight and tall. Tummy muscles engaged, your ribs are pointing down here. Relax the shoulders. Taking a breath in. As you breathe out, just hinging forward once more. Half forward fold. Releasing the hands towards the mat. So maybe it's fingertips. Maybe you can get the palms to the mat. So just taking a moment here, you can adjust the width of your legs if you think you can go a little wider. And then turning the hands around so that the fingers are pointing behind you. Just start to walk them back as you drop the head down towards the mat. So you can have some softness in your knees. Your legs don't have to be straight. Just allowing the head to drop. And then walking the hands back towards the middle. Just catch hold of opposite elbows and sink those elbows towards the mat. And then releasing the hands, placing the hands on the mat and just heel toe your feet. All the way back in until you reach the point where you can sink down through the middle into your deep squat. Squeezing the hands together. Elbows are tucked into the inside of your knees, keeping you nice and stable here. Lifting your chest. And then slowly and elegantly sitting down on the mat. Well done. So come down to semi-supine. So lying out on the mat, knees are bent. Take your hands out in a T shape. Release the whole of the back into the mat. So just take a moment here. The knees are together, heels and feet are together. And just allow your lower back to rest down into the mat. So you can tilt through the pelvis a few times. And notice how your shoulders feel really connected to the mat. Just releasing them back. I hope they're feeling good. And then slide your left leg away, pointing the toes, and draw your right knee up and over your chest. Or you can take the knee towards your armpit if your hip's a little bit more flexible. So sending it more in that direction, hugging it in tight. Breathing in. Breathing out. Releasing the right leg. Swapping to the left. Hugging that in towards your left armpit. Nice stretch of the hip flexor. And then release. Hug both knees up and over your chest. Apanasana. Just have a little roll here. And let your hands go onto your knees. Have your toes touching. And take your knees in circular motions. So The right knee is going anti-clockwise. The left knee is clockwise. And then hug them in once more. Releasing them out along the mat. Just do a full body stretch. If that feels good. And then release down onto the mat. And get your layers on. And we'll have a few minutes of relaxation. Grabbing your layers. Jumpers, put your socks back on. And come down to the mat. So just lying out on your mat. Find your Shavasana. So have your hands alongside your body in a gentle V, palms facing up. Have your legs slightly wider than hip distance apart. And just allow your toes to drop out to the side. So with each exhalation, just allow your body to rest down into the mat. Let go of any tension. This is your release now. All your work is done. Just notice how your body feels. Maybe a little bit tingly. All that energy flowing through. And hopefully your shoulders and your neck feeling pretty good. So just allowing your body to release. Using the out breath, the exhalation, to sink deeper into the mat. Releasing from the top of the head, the forehead, the face, the jaw, the neck and the shoulders. Releasing all the way down your arms to your hands. Just letting your arms feel heavy and relaxed. And then releasing your spine, one vertebra at a time, down into the mat. All the way down to your hips. Let your body feel heavy, sinking into the mat. And then releasing from your hips all the way down your legs. Your thighs, your knees, your calves and your shins. And your feet and your toes. Feel the weight of your legs as they sink into the mat. Let your whole body feel heavy and relaxed. Just taking a few moments here to rest and recover after our exercise, our asanas. And I've got a nice little reading that I came across the other day. Very uplifting. And it says, if every single person who has liked you in your lifetime were to light up on a map, it would create the most glitteringly beautiful network you could imagine. Throw in the strangers you've been kind to, the people you've made laugh or inspired along the way, and that star-bright web of you would be an impressive sight to behold. You are so much more than you think you are. You've done so much more than you realize. You're trailing a bright pathway that you don't even know about. What a thing. What a thing indeed. Start to bring some awareness back to your body now. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. With your next inhalation, float your hands up and overhead and do a full body stretch, pointing from your fingers to your toes. And as you breathe out, let the hands rest on the floor behind you. Breathing in, bending your knees. And as you breathe out, rolling over onto your right hand side, hugging your knees a little closer to your chest. Just give yourself a touch. And then when you're ready, blinking your eyes open and bringing yourself up to a seated position. Everyone feeling good? Good. Let's finish with our 3 breaths together then, sitting up straight and tall, hands and fingertips to the mat each side. Breathing in, bringing the palms together, breathing out, hands to the heart center. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.